Hello everyone, welcome again to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about the 383rd question on Leetcode called ransomNote. In here you'll be given two strings called ransomNote and magazine, and you have to return true if ransomNote can be constructed by using letters from magazine and false otherwise. So for example, let's take this example over here. Here ransomNote is equal to A and magazine is equal to B. The answer is false because there's no way that you can create A out of B. Another example could be AA and magazine is AB. Here also the output is false because, as you can see, there's no way you can create AA from the string AB. However, if you have, let's say, AA over here, the ransom node is AA and magazine is AAB, you can create AA from AAB just simply by excluding B. You get AA, something like that, and in such a case you will return the output true. So there are several ways to solve this problem. So I'll first give you a very Pythonic way to solve this, and let's directly jump into the solution part, right? So for that purpose, I will directly go to Sublime Text over here, and I can simply use the built-in Pythonic methods of sets over here, right? So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a class called solution, right? And then I will create the constructor. Let's say can construct. And I'm gonna say self ransomNote, and that's a magazine, right? It will return me a boolean value, and the idea is pretty simple. Iterate through each unique letters in the ransomNote. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the built-in set method. So for I in, let's say, set of the ransomNote. Right, so the set will give you each unique individual characters inside a string, and I'm going to simply say if the count of the magazine, right, count, I'm going to use the counter method over here, count method of that ith value is less than, right, the ransomNote one, count of I, return me false, because if magazine is smaller, the count of that individual value in magazine is smaller than that of the ransomNote, there's no way you can construct that ransomNote from magazine. So in that such a case, return me false, or else simply return true in every other case, right? So I would say return true. Now let's try to test this. For the sake of simplicity, I have, in the interest of saving time, I have already created some test cases. So over here, the ransomNote is giving you a list of 5 strings. Similarly for magazine, 5 strings as such. So as you can see, A cannot be created by B. So the first answer should be false. Can AA be created by AB? No. So answer should be false in this case as well. AA can be created from AAB because, yeah, like simply eliminate B in this case. Can BG can be created from this string? The answer is yes, because there is at least one B and one G. Similarly, FIA 4 times JEI cannot be created by this string because you are falling short of J's in this situation. So the answer should be false, true, true, and false. So let's try to run this. Let's try to save this and run it. The answer is false, true, true, and false. So it is working absolutely fine. So let's try to run this in on Leetcode. So let's go to Leetcode over here. All right, and run this, paste it, and submit it. Give some time. Perfect. So it is working absolutely fine. But your interviewer may not be impressed by this because you're using a few built-in methods in Python. So how else? Like if the interviewer is asking you to code this from scratch, how would you do it? Well, let's think about it, right? So let me remove this. Yeah, all right, over here. So for this situation, we can use something called dictionaries in Python, or hash maps in Java and C++. All right, so what you can do is that you can iterate through both the strings, ransomNote and magazine, and keep a pointer, create a dictionary where each key of the dictionary will be the character of the string. Right? So if the count of, let's say, a particular character in magazine is less than that of the ransom note, you will return false, or simply in every other case return true. All right, so you would say you would create two dictionaries. Let's say ransom dictionary is equal to, you're going to create two dictionaries as such, and magazine dictionary as such. The first one you will create, you will iterate through ransomNote. So I would say traversing through the ransomNote. Sorry. So you would say for I in the ransomNote, you would say if I is not in the ransom dictionary, right? Sorry, ransom dictionary. Since it's already not present, I want you to initialize it. So I would say ransom dictionary, initialize it to 1. So if there isn't, so this, if the character is not present, the count of the character is 0, then initialize it to 1. However, if it is already present, in such a situation, I want you to, I want you to increase the value, ransom dictionary ith value, increment it by 1. Right? The same thing you will do for magazine as well. So let's say traversing through the magazine. For I in, let's say, magazine, same thing. If I is not in magazine dictionary, initialize it. Initialize the ith value to 1, or else increment the value, ith value, by 1 as such. Alright, now what you will do is you will iterate through the ransomNote again. So you would say for, let's say, character in ransomNote, right? You would say if the character, let's say, so you would say if the character is not present in, character is not in the magazine dictionary, or let's say the magazine dictionary's ith value is, let's say, magazine dictionary's ch value is less than that of the ransom dictionary. In such a case, return me false. In every other case, you return you true as such. Right, let's try to run this now. So I will build it once again. Right, so it is working fine as well in my test cases. So let's try to submit this to Leetcode. I'm gonna say, all right, let's submit it. Awesome, so it is working as well. However, this is, can we still optimize it? Well, if you were to notice over here, if you were to carefully notice, you would see that we are making use of two dictionaries as such. So there are two dictionaries, the ransom dictionary and the magazine dictionary. Can we make it even better? That's the question. So if we were to remove this, right, just a second, right, and if we were to think about it, right? So let's try to think about it in a better manner. Let's say we have two dictionaries as such over here. So two strings as such, so ransomNote and magazine. What I can do is that instead of having two dictionaries, let me make only one dictionary, all right? So what I'll do is I'll simply traverse through the ransomNote over here, and I'll keep a value. So over here, the ransomNote has A's value as 3, and magazine has A 2 values and B 1 value. All right. What I'll do is that I will traverse through. I will make a pointer, right? For obviously over here, I will first of all create a dictionary called magazine dictionary, and find and store the value. So this will be the magazine dictionary over here. Let's say magazine dictionary, right? This will point over here, and then I will create a pointer that will point towards all the elements in ransomNote, right? So let's say the pointer is over here. If this particular element is not present in magazine or magazine dictionary, right? In this case, return me false, because let's say you have an additional C over here. If C is not present, right? So let's say your pointer is over here and C is not present in magazine dictionary, there is no C, return me false. Or in every other case, let's say you have A and AB in this situation, the pointer is over here. If the pointer is over here, then decrement the value of A by 1 over here. So when you're traversing to A, decrement the value of A to 1. All right, so 2 minus 1 becomes 1, fair enough. Then increment the pointer to the next value. There's another A, so decrement the value of A again to decrement the value by 1, right? So 1 becomes 0 in this situation, fair enough. So this is 0. So as soon as the value, let's say the pointer is over here, the same value has a value of the same element has the value 0. In such a situation, you have to return, let's say, false, because this would imply there is, like, you have already used 2 A's before, there is not a third A that you could use, therefore you cannot construct ransomNote from magazine. So in this case, we are making use of only one dictionary, right? That is magazine dictionary. So this is a better or more optimized solution in terms of memory. So let's try to code this as well, right? So if we were to code this, we would use something like, let's say, over here we could say, let's say magazine dictionary is equal to, magazine dictionary is equal to empty dictionary, and say for C in magazine, for C in magazine, I would say if C is not in magazine dictionary, initialize it obviously. So magazine dictionary, CF value is equal to 1, else increment it by 1. Magazine dictionary, CF value, that's equal to 1. Very simple. Now comes the trickiest part. I'm going to traverse through the ransomNote, and the idea is that, let's say, for a character in ransomNote, I would say if the character is not in magazine dictionary, or the magazine dictionaries, like the character value is equal to 0, in both the situations you have to return me false, else return me else if that's not the case, then decrement the value of the magazine dictionary character value by 1, right? So at the end, return me true. All right, so let's use the driver method. All right, so let's save this and let's build it, and it's giving me false, false, true, true, false. It's working absolutely fine. Let's try to run this on Leetcode. And again, all right, so let's try to submit this as well. So this also works. So as you saw in this video, it was an easy tagged video on Leetcode, but we solved this in 3 different ways. And yeah, so if you've liked the video, be sure to subscribe to this, like the video, and share with your friends. Till next time, cheers.